Hi, I am Michael Santos, the founder of prisonprofessors.com and Prison Professors Talent. And it's important, if you're part of our community, that you understand how those two websites relate to each other. Prisonprofessors.com is where we offer our free and low-cost resources to help justice impacted people regardless of what stage of the journey they're in. They may be just arrested and trying to understand, well, what's coming? How do I get ready? And so there are free and low-cost products to help those people, but there are many hundreds of thousands of people in prison that are serving sentences, and they might need copies of they may need books or courses to work through the journey, but they are also going to need to build some type of database or centralized location where they are demonstrating how hard they are working. And now I will share my website with you and kind of scroll through it to kind of describe how does it work. So this is an example of a profile that somebody can build on prisonprofessorstalent.com. And we don't charge anything for this. This is part of our nonprofit. It's part of the ways that we are striving to demonstrate how many people are serving time in prison that could just as easily be in the community. And we have to profile them. But each individual has the responsibility to build their profile. And the profile on Prison Professors Talent always begins with these 4 blocks. The first block is to write a biography, and you could use mine as an example. The second block is to record daily journal entries. And the third block is to write book reports. And the fourth is to create your iterative release plan. And we offer guidance on each one of those. But today we are talking about the importance of journal entries. And today it happens to be July 17th. And I can show you there's my journal entry for today. And so you could scroll through and see I am continuing to document what I do every day, how I do the work that I do, why I do the work to do, how does it relate to the success that I want to become. And so if you scroll through the website, you could see all of that information, but you could also see the original lesson. So if you click there, you get to the original lesson, and the lesson is part of our free and low-cost materials that's on our website at Prison Professors. But all these links are interactive, and because many of our people do not have access to the internet, they're in prison listening to this on like an MP3 player or on a tablet-like device through our relationships with tablet providers. Or maybe they're going through a class and they've got this on a DVD. So I always like to read this to people so that they understand, well, how do you journal on this website? So I'm going to read today's lesson, How to Journal on Prison Professors Talent. To build an amazing profile that inspires others, a person should show daily progress. For that reason, Prison Professors Talent opens an opportunity to document the ways that participants use time in prison to prepare for success upon release. As an example, I published a series of journal entries to show how journals helped me prepare for success while I went through 9,500 days in prison. The journal continues to be an integral component for my ongoing preparations for success. People may want to consider journaling as a tactic for self-advocacy. And then I give an example that'll take people back to the journal. But let's just keep reading the lesson. Judges and journaling. Federal judges sentence people to the custody of the Attorney General. They consider the information put before them by prosecutors, defense attorneys, and probation officers. They do not have any way of knowing what the person will do in the months, years, or decades ahead. You know, I might be able to help some of our readers by making this a little bit bigger. Let me see if that is easier for you to read while I'm going through this there. So many leaders, let me just read that, judges and journaling again. Federal judges sentence people to the custody of the Attorney General. They consider the information put before them by prosecutors, defense attorneys, and probation officers. They do not have any way of knowing what the person will do in the months, years, or decades ahead. Many leaders advise that people should always think about the best possible outcome. If people know what they want, they can engineer a pathway more likely to succeed. People in prison want opportunities to advance release dates and have a higher level of liberty as soon as possible. If an opportunity opens for resentencing, or if laws and policies open more opportunities to incentivize excellence, the person should have resources that will help people with discretion understand the work that went into preparing for success. A daily journal can document the record. At the start of every year, I wrote specific goals that I wanted to achieve. Those goals aligned with how I defined success. For example, I wrote how many books I intended to read during the year. I wrote how many miles I would run during the year. I wrote how many courses I would complete during the year. I wrote the number of books I pledged to read during the year. I documented the reason behind all those decisions. Daily journals memorialized how I used time in prison to prepare for success upon release. Those records opened new opportunities that led to income opportunities, early termination of supervised release, and liberty to launch advocacy efforts. I concluded my obligation to the Bureau of Prisons in August 2013. Since then, I have continued to document my path. The journals open opportunities. We grow stronger when we show our resilience, and journals can help. As human beings, we all face challenges and crises. Resilience requires us to launch plans to overcome, prioritize the steps we must take, build our tools, tactics, and resources, measure our progress with daily accountability, adjusting as necessary, and executing our plan every day. Daily journals help us stay on track with the plans we set. For that reason, I continue to journal about the methodical steps I am taking to work toward my goals. All those goals relate to success as I define success. If you are working through our course, Preparing for Success After Prison, try to memorialize your journey. Writing a journal entry regularly helped me through prison, and the strategy continues to help me open opportunities even though I concluded my obligation to the Bureau of Prisons in August of 2013. Consider writing a journal each day. Make the journal transparent, and you will take a huge step toward building a support network that wants to invest in you. If an opportunity opens for you to appear before a judge or to influence people with discretion and ease your life, the daily journal will become an invaluable asset. It will show how hard you worked to prepare for success upon release, and that is a self-advocacy technique that will serve you well. Consider the following question. In what ways would a daily journal from yesterday show your preparation for higher levels of success? Now, our community at prisonprofessorstalent.com opens opportunities to memorialize your preparations. If you'd like to participate, begin building your profile. Simply send an email to interns@prisonprofessorstalent.com. And we offer our address and a virtual phone number for people who are in prison. They can write to Prison Professors Charitable Corporation. That's at 32565 Golden Lantern Street, Box B-1019, Dana Point, California, 92629. And the virtual phone number, and I say virtual because I don't think anybody's going to answer it, although it might be a university intern. They'll answer it. That number is 818-237-3460. We offer that number because, prisons are very... they're very institutional. And when they add these email systems, a lot of times they require the whole address and phone number. But what's super important for people to understand is what is the essence of this lesson? It's to get you thinking today about the challenges you are going to face in the weeks, months, years, and decades ahead. You're always going to, if you're a justice impacted person, you're always going to have to answer for that crime because, it's public, right? But you can influence what people see about you by your methodical strategy. And prisonprofessorstalent.com is giving you a resource that you could use on a micro level to influence your reputation and your life and demonstrate that you weren't only serving time, you were working to reconcile and atone for a better outcome. And that pathway is what guided me and empowered me through the 26 years that I served in prison. Every day I focused on how am I going to advance towards success as I define success. That's what we need you to do. This isn't about me. This is about you. How are you defining success, and what plan have you put in place? And how are you measuring progress and holding yourself accountable? That's what a daily journal will do. And again, I don't ask you to do anything I'm not doing. That's what got me through prison. It's what I'm still doing today, as you can see if you look at my bio. You can look at my bio and go to that profile on Prison Professor's Talent. And even though I'm not in prison, you'll see this is every day in the month. We're in July 2023, and you'll see a journal entry for every day. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I wrote 2, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Not only do I publish them here, I also publish them on our website at prisonprofessors.com, where you could just go up there to the blog, and there's a section there that says journal, and I'm documenting. I'm documenting because I want people to see the strategies that they can use to transform their life, even if they're a justice impacted person. That strategy led to a higher level of liberty at the soonest possible time when I got out. It led to me getting early termination of supervised release, not because I requested it, but because the U.S. attorney requested it, probation requested it, judges requested it. And this is all documented in my daily journals. So I want you thinking today about the future, not about where you are in the midst of a crisis, right? You've got to look down the road. You've got to look to that time of your sentencing hearing, or you've got to look to that time of when you surrender to prison, or you've got to look to that time while you're in prison and you're trying to influence a warden or a case manager or a unit manager to advance you for an early transition to home confinement, or the case manager that's overseeing home confinement. You've got to influence them so that you can get started with your career. And you have to influence creditors. I mean, this is a lifetime pursuit. When you become a justice impacted person, it's a lifetime pursuit. And the sooner you start architecting and engineering your pathway to success, the sooner you can set specific goals, and then you can start moving through all of the lessons that we teach in our courses preparing for success after prison. I am Michael Santos, the founder of Prison Professors, and I believe in you.